So we had a long episode last week, but we didn't quite touch these. So that's why you got this special Friday episode. Sebastian Fundora versus Chordell Booker card. WBC and WBO junior middleweight titles on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Thoughts, fellas? Thoughts?
Las Vegas, Amazon Prime. I'm locked in.
Yeah. And I was looking at their weigh-in, and that height difference was something to write about if I'm coming up with a reason for Pandora having an advantage. But like, fellas,
Yeah,
how
six,
much of a
6-inch advantage.
Yeah, how much of an advantage is someone having an opponent that you're 6 feet taller than in the world of in fighting?
Well, it's supposed to be an advantage because the taller fighter is supposed to work the jab and keep his opponent at bay. But even with Fundora being the anomaly that he is, as far as stature is concerned, it applies also to his style because in the same vein, he doesn't always utilize his range.
Mhm.
He wants to be
Wants to
inside and he wants to
Right.
get dirty. So
Yeah,
Right. That picture of the weigh-in is crazy. But like LT was saying, Fundora wants to mix it up on the inside. So he does always put on an entertaining event. So you can best believe that we would be there. Oh my goodness.
you see,
Little man, hey, he got the Griffies on.
Right.
again, he does have the
Yeah.
Griffies on.
Cortez is the classic.
Yeah,
the
Classic.
gangster Nikes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna say it, but nah, that's hey, Fundora always puts on an entertaining event for us to check out. So I'm excited, man. We like I said, we missed to talk about this one, so it kind of snuck back up on us.
yeah.
Man, y'all see this dude with his glasses on, like looking like Clark Kent?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
How many fights does he have to have before he can get LASIK?
He's doing it for the aesthetic, bro.
Oh man.
He's doing it for the vibe of the specs.
And
He's
one of you guys
definitely
talked
gotta have
about
a preference.
one of you guys talked about his fighting style. How much of a disadvantage? I mean, yes, he could be more rangier. He could use his jab a lot better. But he fights the way he fights, right? How much of an issue? Because he loves to hook. Is the elbow follow up being that tall? Has that been an issue before? Let's talk about his last fight with Tim Tszyu and just being a taller fighter, headbutting,
Man.
elbow follow up while you punch. How can that be a problem? For both
Oh,
him and
definitely.
his
That
opponent?
would be a concern if I'm coaching in his camp or in Booker's camp the whole time because of he wants to fight on the inside, and then that height difference, you just really naturally fall at that in range of an elbow inadvertently. I don't think Fundora's a dirty fighter, but he's 6'5". I'm almost 6'6".
Yep.
So it's just something you got to watch out for being in the 154 weight division. So
If I'm his
it's something to
opponent,
look out for.
if I'm his opponent, I'm trying to dig at the body. I particularly want to get at his hip pointer, that belt line area.
Mhm.
I mean, he's just so frail. I think if you hit him in the hip, I think he'll collapse.
You know what? That guy
Has
likes
that,
to
has any? Yeah, has anybody? I don't know if we've seen anybody implement that strategy. So I mean, you got to try. You got to. I mean, it's right there. He's gonna
Oh,
be in
man.
your face.
Yeah. He surprises me because he has him and his sister have this fun-loving, chill personality, but they fight nasty. Like,
Yeah,
a lot of his fights, there's blood, there's all sorts of stuff. He does really stand in that Mexican style, per se.
Mhm.
He's hard to, I mean, I've seen him get knocked down. I've seen him, go through his trials and tribulations. But him as he isn't he like what's the word? Not an enigma. What's the word here? Like something different from what you would
Yeah.
expect.
an anomaly.
Anomaly.
Enigma. Yeah, there you go.
Worth noting. So this fight is taking place on Amazon Prime. And I've been on the mini farewell tour for PBC, but it looks like PBC is making a resurgence. They're finding a new home with Amazon Prime. Uh, you know, ever since the fold of Showtime Boxing, Showtime is in like the Paramount family and this, that, and the third. But looks like we may see a resurgence of a number of these PBC fighters in their roster. So
Mhm.
that's
And
kind
Amazon
of
a solid platform, looking to expand into new uh, territory. So I mean, fully supported. Keep the PBC alive.
very
Yeah,
nice.
Amazon is a beast of a corporation. I mean, you see what they're doing. They've done to e-commerce, what they're doing in entertainment. They're putting out movies and all sorts of stuff. They're like Disney, man. When they come and set up shop, they're big boys. So if they come
Yep.
into the fight sport, you already know what's going to happen and how that's going to look like with them. They're already doing the NFL, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
the live
Yeah.
sports,
Actually, why not?
hey, that's a good conglomerate to team up with if you uh, PBC. Going back to Fandora, did you see his fight before Tim Zoo? His fight with I think Mendoza. When he got knocked out.
Oh
Mm,
yes, it was very somber
Very
mood in
some
that fight. Yeah, like they
was
just
a
was not
mix up.
expecting that result.
Mix up. So like he likes to mix. He like even with smaller fight, he likes to mix. So
Hmm.
that fight did show me, and I'm not saying Mendoza was small. Mendoza is 5'10", but he was getting in those close, exchanges and he could get got. And one of you guys mentioned that he's not using his range to his full advantage, but I would. If I'm 6 inches, I'm not mixing with you. I'm just tagging you from a distance. If I want to mix it with you, I know I'm gonna have to find a healthy range area where I know I could to my advantage.
Hmm.
But hey,
Hmm.
that would be a great fight. Booker versus Fandora. Guys, we it's Friday, so we have to make some predictions on this.
ooh.
Well,
I'll jump out in the street. I'm taking Fundora.
Do you want to make a like a real prediction round and how it's gonna happen, or if it goes to the judges?
Man, well, let's give a quick background on Booker. You know, Cordell Booker right now is getting a second chance at life. Is he coming off a hiatus here?
I don't think necessarily a hiatus, but he's been around for a while. He's 33 years old,
Let's see.
and he has been knocked out once. But his last fight was June 15th of 2024. He fought twice in 2024, and he fought four times. Excuse me, five times in 2023.
Yeah, and so I'm
Times.
from I'm familiar with him. He's been kind of stuck at this prospect status.
Yeah, kind of
Uh,
just hovering.
I think this is a huge step up, and I don't think that he's seen the likes in the class
Yeah,
of Fundora.
Yeah.
So Fundora made an experienced Erickson Lubin look bad. I remember the tweets going out. They were saying that Lubin just ran into a created character off of a video game in that fight, and so I don't see. Yeah, I just see Booker being outclassed in this one.
yeah.
So to make a realistic prediction, there Booker got a year layoff. I'll say eighth round stoppage. Fundora, 8 rounds. I give.
Yeah, actually, I can envision a late stoppage in this fight as well. One thing being considered, our man Booker has had a few 10 round fights, several 4 round fights, and some 8 rounds sprinkled in there as well. Whereas Fundora's been fighting 10 and 12 round fights for his last several fights. So just a step up in competition. a literal step up in height as far as that goes. Uh, when you're 33, you got that grown man strength, that ego, that pride in the ring. So I do feel like he will put back some resistance. But later in the rounds, as he gets to those deep waters where he's not comfortable being, I can expect a championship round stoppage. So that being a 11-12 round situation.
I think I've not watched Booker fight. I'll be honest. But the gravity of this fight, these are two belts on the line. I think even if I was a brawler, even if I had that grown man strength and I knew I could take him out, I want to fight smart. Yes, it's also kind of like a double-edged sword. You're fighting smart with a champion, and leaving it to the judges is kind of risky because we know how what happens there. We've seen it many and many times where you want to go in there and have like an IQ fight, but that's what you have to do. If you're gonna go reckless when two belts on the line, I don't know if you want to do that. I have to see the type of fighter Booker is, and if he wants to die on that sword. But I would anticipate Booker to take this to 12 rounds, but be smart. He must have watched a lot of film or on Sebastian, and to see ways to get him in trouble. We've already seen Sebastian can get knocked out, so that is a factor. So if he wants to, like you said, if he wants to get him out of there, we've seen it. Somebody has done it. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight. But I have it as just a decision win for Sebastian, and this will go to the judges.
Quick note: estimated ring walk times is coming in at 1 a.m. Eastern. Good Lord.
Oh, so that's East Coast. That's here.
You muted, LT muted.
Is that's the 1 a.m.?
Bro, I'm on the zone right now because I
Las Vegas.
Yes, we're Fundora versus Booker main event ring walks approximately 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific, and
about 12-hour time.
Wow.
Is your UFC this weekend?
I'm gonna double check what is going on in this card.
Tomorrow UFC Fight Night.
Yeah,
254.
That's London though, so it's a different time. That's earlier.
Yeah, I mean, this article came out March 17th on DAZN, still up and live. To cross-check it with PBC, they're not giving ring walk times. Event starts at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
8 p.m. Eastern, so 7 for our time.
Mm-hmm.
But
and that's for the people that are listening. That's we're Central.
Yeah. So yeah, that does look like we're looking at a late ring walk. So hey, just to give y'all a heads up.
Yeah. And then
That's
this is in Las Vegas where they're fighting. So yeah,
correct.
I can see why, because of that I can't say this word right. Say Pacific time is usually like they just go by LA time, and it would suck living in like the East Coast, staying up all night to watch these fights. Everything is just predicated off the West. The fights in like Vegas. Everything's predicated time. So, anyways, which other people do we have on that card that you guys want to talk about and do some predictions? We have remind me.
You got Elijah Garcia versus Terrell Gausha, Jesus Alejandro Ramos versus Kevin Salgado. Both 10-round fights. This will be an adventure for me to learn some new fighters. How about that?
There you go.
Right.
You know what we need to do the next episode? We need to start like a little league of all three of us, and then we do prediction league and see who won the next one, and then we could start like a little and do like a forfeit at the end of like a year. say like, okay,
Who got the most? Who
who
got
got
like
the
the?
most
that.
wins and what, and we will give you like a score. We'll have a score table. How many wins I've been, close to your score. Then we can do a forfeit, like a cool little forfeit. It has to be, it could be a donation to any charity that we want, or do something. Just do something
I
for
like
fans.
that.
We could do
I like
something
it.
for fans, like just a little thing, just to kind of add something to it, because I like having predictions and things manifesting on a Sunday when we talk, like LT called it out or Kam Gee called this out, so that would be
Right.
cool.
That's dope.
I'm with it. You got to keep track. So right now we got late stoppers from me, Fundora,
Mhm.
LT with a eight round,
That's right.
Eight rounds.
eight round, and
And I have
then
12.
okay,
I have
we
a
got
decision for
12.
Strap.
decision. I have a decision for my
You have a unanimous split majority.
just a decision. I let me just.
Okay,
If you want me to
All
be
right.
very precise on this one, it's going to be a unanimous, but
We'll
a
do
decision.
we'll have to come up with a points
yeah,
Point system, yes. Yeah, and
if you
even
get the you get extra credit for getting around, or you get extra credit for picking what kind of decision. Yeah, we'll do
and
that.
also, like, if we all picked Fundora, we should get, if he wins, we should all get a point for that, but an extra point if you if you chose the right round
Yeah.
and the style,
Right.
whether it's a knockout, or whether it's yeah.
I'm
But
with
we'll
it.
come up with a criteria, back in
like counting
in the
spades.
back. Yeah, and we could have a little table at every show to just see who's leading the
Nice.
table board. That would be
Nice.
fun.
Here we go. Let's keep it pushing. So
Yeah.
here's some news that's not so surprising, but just kind of help you figure out the landscape. It was announced that after fighting Canelo Alvarez, that Terrence Crawford does not plan to return to 154. And then Xander Zayas will likely be named a mandatory challenger for Sebastian Fundora. That's in the event that Fundora comes out victorious.
Right. Who we're saying that, but it's boxing.